Hey everybody, it's time again for Office Hours with the Professor, the show where I say things. Before going into specific detail about the cat, let's take a little time to talk about the language and the cultures of indigenous Siberians overall, who we heard about last time, okay? So indigenous Siberian peoples and languages, they can be grouped into, I would say, 5 main categories, okay? So let's take a look. Ooh, see, this is such an exciting topic that I'm dropping my marker. Here we go. Okay, indigenous Siberians. Okay, and as I say, we have 5 main groups. The first group is Turkic. The Turkic peoples and languages, and remember, this is not to be confused with Turkish, that is the people and language of the modern Republic of Turkey. This is a little different. It's the same language family, but they are not necessarily the same people. Second group, Tungusic, all right, and these are people related to the Manchu people of China who established the Qing dynasty. Maybe you've heard about them. So Turkic, Tungusic, the Uralic people, okay, think of the Ural Mountains, the Uralic people, or the Mongolic people. Speaking, of course, languages related to Mongolian, okay, and 5, we have Paleo-Siberians. Paleo-Siberians. Now, the first 4 of these categories represent language families. The 5th is this umbrella term for a number of not necessarily related peoples and languages that predate the arrival of the others, hence Paleo-Siberians, okay? So, let's take a moment and pull up our big, beautiful Siberian language map. Now, the first 4 groups, you'll notice the Turkic, Tungusic, Uralic, and Mongolic are pretty widespread throughout Siberia and the Russian Far East. And their spread outness is mainly due to the fact that these peoples have traditionally practiced what is called nomadic pastoralism. Okay. So, pastoralism, I think I've heard it both ways, but at any rate, that is pastoralism. What is pastoralism? It means that people are raising animals, herds of animals, and under nomadic pastoralism, they are following a carefully timed seasonal migration, okay? And in the northern taiga, or the forest that exists in Siberia, people keep what? Reindeer. While down south in the steppes, there are people with cattle and sheep, for example, among the Mongolic-speaking Buryat people. They're a Siberian people that do not breed reindeer, but rather have, sheep and cattle and things like this, horses. The Turkic Saha people, also of eastern Siberia, they are not reindeer breeders, but they're still pastoralists. They keep these cute little mini horses that have the superpower of resisting cold. So pastoral nomadic people are actually quite new to Siberia. In fact, they've only been around for the last few thousand years. Paleo-Siberians, on the other hand, Paleo-Siberians are hunter-gatherers. They are the survivors of the region's pre-pastoral peoples. So instead of herding animals, these guys are once again what? Hunter-gatherers, HG for short. And they are following a way of life as old as humanity itself. Their ancestors have lived in Siberia since time immemorial, perhaps even since the very glaciers receded. The Paleosiberians are really a diverse group of people, and for the most part, they are not linked either by genetics or linguistics. This is not a language family. One of these peoples, of course, is known as the cat. Okay, so what's the deal with these cat guys? The cat are interesting because they are the last surviving true hunter-gatherers of inland Eurasia. Now, there are a few other Paleo-Siberian hunter-gatherer groups, but these other hunter-gatherer groups are coastal peoples who rely on the sea. The cat are the only inland hunter-gatherers left. They're the last living representatives of a lifestyle that was once, thousands of years ago, widespread across interior Eurasia. Their language, too, is a last survivor. Now, what language family does cat belong to? Remember, Paleo-Siberian is not a language family, okay? It's just an umbrella term for many different of these vestigial surviving peoples, okay? So, cat belongs to what is called the Yeniseisk family. Yenisei, of course, is the river in central Siberia where the cat have historically been living off of, surrounding in the Yenisei River basin. So the cat language belongs to the small Yeniseisk language family, okay? And all of the other Yeniseisk languages, there were more, but they have all gone extinct. Of the Yeniseian peoples, or Yeniseic, Yeniseian, they're kind of the same, peoples and languages, cat is, as I say, the only one to survive to the present day. But even now, it is what we would call a moribund language. This is not a good thing. Moribund language. That is, kids aren't learning it anymore, and it's spoken only by older people. See, you have this word here, mor for death, right? Mortal, right? So it's think of it like that. It's a dying language. And within a few decades, barring a dramatic change in the situation of the cat, this language will have gone extinct as a native tongue, which is really sad because a number of linguists since the 20s have been drawing these parallels between cat and some of the native languages of North America. So when cat dies, so will what appears to be the only known prehistoric linguistic connection between the old and the new world. So let's review. The cats are the last survivors of the Yeniseisk ethno-linguistic family, so the Yeniseisk language family, okay, which for the sake of convenience is classified with several other families as Paleo-Siberian. Let's do PS, which is not a language family, it's an umbrella term. Paleo-Siberians stand in contrast to the pastoral nomads, or the more widespread kind of neo-Siberian reindeer or just animal herding pastoralist peoples, who again comprise several different language families. So, not only are the cat linguistically unique, okay, but they are also very culturally unique. They're people who practice hunting and gathering as opposed to their reindeer herding neighbors, right? So now that we know the very basics of who the cat are, our next topic will be about what daily life was like in traditional cat culture. What was important? What did people care about? What did they do every day? And does this culture live on today? Find out in our next discussion. See you later.
Like a pistol, clip is loaded when I click bang, bang. A Wu-Tang slug hits your brain. J-U-M-P jump and I bump. It goes rough like pumping, humpty hump. Wow, the yelling style is